Well, maybe we'll try to lighten the mood a little bit now, and let's move on to our next presenter. Our next guest may be the only person in this room who can answer the question, what are you, a rocket scientist? And you can say yes. After 19 years as an aerospace engineer, in 2003 he transitioned to a far more challenging job, a math teacher at Pascack Hills High School. For the past 12 years, Mr. Killian has been challenging our math students and taking our robotics team to an unthinkable height. Here to demonstrate one of the many robots produced by the Pascack pioneers is Mr. Kevin Killian.
Thank you, Glenn. I want to thank Glenn Demaray for choosing the Pascack pioneers to do this demonstration. And I feel like I'm representing all of the competitive teams that have such a great storied history here for Pascack Hills. I'm a kid who grew up in Hackensack back in the heyday of Pascack Hills wrestling. I used to go to the regionals and see them come in with their brown jerseys, winning every weight class. I know the storied history Pascack Hills has in competitive endeavors. So we are a competitive robotics team, and those of you who graduated more than 10 years ago probably didn't even know we do robotics. But we are sort of the intersection of competitive academics, like the debate team, the quiz bowl, academic decathlon, as well as competitive athletics. Because as you'll see from the video clip I have, that robot there is an athlete. We were formed in December of 2004. Our first head coach was Phil Pascack. Wave, Phil. Well, I got Phil. And Phil took what could be, an academic team, and he instilled love of sports and competitiveness in this team. And Phil was the one who said, we're building an athlete that has to go out and compete on the field of play. And I like to take that same attitude. So, looking back, we've had 10 years of competition, and we've won the New Jersey State Championship 4 years in a row, starting in 2010. We've been to the World Championship of Robotics, First Robotics, which generally there's about 2,500, 3,000 teams, and less than 10% of the teams get to the World Championships. We've been there 8 of our 10 years. So, so just like you look back on your best season, we've chosen our best robot that championship season. This robot's named Weeble, and you'll see why a little bit later. Weeble was our 2010 robot, and when we went to the World Championships, which were held in Atlanta in the Georgia Dome, where the Falcons play, with tens of thousands of people cheering like crazy, that robot was ranked 4th in its division. It was broken up in 4 divisions, kind of like the NCAA basketball, and it was ranked 4th in its division, so you could say that was one of the top 16 robots in the world back in 2010. So I introduced you to Weeble, and Weeble's going to show you a little bit about what it can do. The game that year was to play soccer, and let's have it demonstrate, kids. Kick her back. Kick her back. Now usually, the competitions are held on a field about the size of a volleyball court. It's carpeted with protective metal walls. And so the objective, we will have to drive up, collect a loose soccer ball. That's Marlene. We go drive up, collect a loose soccer ball, control it, drive around any defense that was happening, and then find a clear shot. Mr. Sanders, show us please. All right, now what we're going to see here is this was taken from the divisional competitions in Atlanta that year. Our robot is the far to the left in the back. Now you can see the game is soccer. And what's happening is we're trying to score, the 3 blue robots are trying to score in goals over here, and the 3 red robots are trying to score in goals over there. And of course, there are several balls on the field, so we're trying to dominate the game and control all the balls at the send it to our offensive end. There's the two obstacles. You can see Weevil had to jump over those humps. And if you're watching, this is at the World Championship, and you can sit back and look at all six robots. We're pretty much dominating this match. You can see the skill that Weevil has in picking up the ball, in clearing the center zone, just like in soccer, having a good midfielder produces a winning team. Trying to score the goals down the corners. You can see one rolled in back there. And defense is being played. We've got kids driving the robot. In the very beginning, you might not have noticed, but the robot was working completely on its own during automated time periods. But now we're just sort of cleaning things up and winning this match. It was this and matches like this that gave us our number 4 ranking in the division that got us into the divisional finals. So this is what it's like. You can see the crowds that this draws, and you can see I get a sense of the excitement that happens when you go to one of the events. So this one actually bounced in off the top of another robot. I like that shot. So you might ask how Weevil got its name Weevil. Well, especially with going over the humps and all the hard defense being played, there's a lot of robots that were prone to tipping that year, and we knew that would be a risk for our robots. So we built it with the weight distribution near the bottom so that it would never tip. You remember the old toys, Weevils wobble but they don't fall down? This is the New Jersey Championship. There's Weevil right there. And we're working to get over the hump. And you can even look on the screen over there. Now watch it, it's going to go over the hump. And this is before I drive it in. Whoa, it goes and rocks back. So yeah, Weevils wobble but they don't fall down. Now there was a bonus part of the competition back in those days. If you could lift the robot on a bar up 2 feet or more off the ground, you got bonus points. And of course we built that part into our robot as well. You don't see it on Weevil today, but you can tell we're going to unleash the whip and the hook goes onto the bar, and then we start the winch motor. And to get those bonus points at the end of the match, Weevil pulls himself up 150 pounds of metal being pulled up off the ground to earn bonus points at the end of the match. On behalf of every team that's ever carried the colors in the competition and represented Pascack Hills proudly by dedicating themselves to excellence and by showing great sportsmanship, I thank you. We were formed, we're a combination team between Pascack Hills and Pascack Valley. Now, for those of you when the rivalry was so hot back 20, 30 years ago, you might find that very strange. But it happens a lot. The hockey team is with both schools, the swimming team with both schools, and some of the other teams have been with both schools as well, on and off. So when we formed the team, we couldn't be the Cowboys, we couldn't be the Indians, so we're the Pioneers. And we couldn't be green, we couldn't be brown, and certainly weren't going to be green and brown, that's hideous. So we decided to be black and yellow. So that's sort of the genesis, and again, Phil had a lot to say with that. He really formed us what we were back in the beginning. So I present to you many of this year's Pioneers, and thank you for all that.
Mm-hmm.